Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a quick look at Nvidia and its ARM acquisition that finally got terminated. We're going to take a quick look at what the deal was supposed to do, what are my overall thoughts right now, and what I believe is next for Nvidia. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for free Discord, free newsletter, and a lot of great investing links. So let's get started. So like I mentioned, Nvidia right now did announce that they are terminating their agreement to purchase ARM. And fortunately, the stock pre-market is down about 1.5%. And this is telling me one thing that I kind of knew already. The market did not believe this acquisition was going to go through. So the stock price did dip a little, down about 1.5 pre-market. But for example, if the market did believe this was going to be an acquisition that was going to go through, pre-market prices, in my opinion, would have been down a lot higher. So for those not familiar, SoftBank, which is the owner of ARM, they did release a statement on February 8th of 2022 about the termination of agreements. And here we can see in the statement, they mentioned that Nvidia and SoftBank Group agreed to terminate the agreement on February 8th, 2022 because of significant regulatory challenges preventing the consummation of the transaction despite good faith efforts by the parties. One thing that for those that did not know, Nvidia did put a non-refundable $1.25 billion in this transaction. If it didn't happen, SoftBank would have kept that money. And they're making sure that they are. They mentioned that the deposit of a $1.25 billion US dollars received by SoftBank Group at the time of signing is non-refundable, and therefore such amount will be recognized as profit in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year ending March 31st of 2022. For Nvidia is going to be the opposite, right? In Nvidia's, the cash has already come out of its in the cash flow statements many months ago, but is gonna be kind of shown as a loss in not this upcoming quarter, but not the upcoming quarter that they're gonna release earnings soon, but the next upcoming quarter, the quarter that's gonna end on March 31st of 2022. We're gonna see a hit on Nvidia's earnings per share because of this loss of money. So this is something investors should keep in mind of. SoftBank also does kind of continue that they are in preparations of going IPO within the fiscal year ending March 31st of 2023. So that's pretty interesting that ARM is now thinking about going IPO within the next 2 years. So that'll definitely be a company I will be looking to invest in depending on valuations.
Let's take a listen to today's sponsor. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the stock advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video.
So again, let me just share the overall kind of what this transaction was going to do. Nvidia was going to pay SoftBank about $21.5 billion in common stock and about $12 billion in cash. That was going to be about $33.5 billion. Then they also had an extra $5 billion in cash or common stock to be paid out if ARM met some form of financial performance targets. And finally, Nvidia was also going to issue $1.5 billion in equity to ARM employees. The total deal was going to be roughly $40 billion in mixture of cash and mixture of stock. And Nvidia was intending to finance this transaction with the cash it has in its balance sheet. And like we mentioned, Nvidia at the during signing paid ARM $2 billion. $1.25 billion of that was non-refundable, which we saw earlier. The other $750 million was actually money just used for inventory or licensing purposes of ARM. So it's not like Nvidia loses $2 billion, they're only losing 1.25. All right, so next I want to mention that Nvidia's earnings are scheduled for February 16th, so about 8 days from now. I'll definitely be doing a live stream on that for anybody that is curious. But on their most recent recent earnings, they do mention that they have about 19.3 billion in cash and about 10.9 billion dollars in debt. So I don't think Nvidia, I think Nvidia is going to keep looking for acquisition targets. I don't think it's going to look for anything as big as ARM, right? I do believe big tech is keeping an eye, not big tech, big regulatories are keeping an eye out, especially in tech acquisitions at the moment. We're seeing a lot of pushback there. But I think if Nvidia is out there looking for maybe smaller companies, maybe something less than $5 billion, that is not crazy kind of monopolizing risk, I do think they're gonna be able to do a few acquisitions. So with this amount of cash, with stock prices going a lot lower, I think Nvidia is still keeping their eyes out. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking for something more in the, I want to say, content creator platform. They have a lot of stuff with the Omniverse pushing right now. So anything in artificial intelligence would definitely be a purchase for them, so they can improve their overall products. Anything in the content creation, as they're really focusing in things like digital avatars, like the Omniverse, anything, or in the gaming market that really focuses with their kind of graphics cards and all the other solutions that they have. So I think any of those three acquisition purposes or follow-throughs could go through if they are very, very small. But I don't think Nvidia can make any big acquisitions anytime soon. I also do want to say this acquisition, in my opinion, was not needed by Nvidia. It would have been a great acquisition. I have no intentions of selling because of the loss of this acquisition. Like I mentioned earlier on in this episode, this was one that I did not think was going to go through, and that's exactly what happened. So as an investor of Nvidia, I am not worried. Still long-term hold, and if we do see a dip, who knows, maybe I might finally increase my position a little bit more. Nvidia is already my #1 position. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.